What if I told you that within the next few years, a baby woolly mammoth could actually be born? It sounds like science fiction, but some of the world's biggest genetic engineering companies believe it's possible. After being extinct for nearly 4,000 years, the woolly mammoth may be closer to returning than ever before. But here's the shocking part. This isn't the first time the world believed mammoths were coming back. Scientists have been making the same promise for over 40 years. Some of those announcements turned out to be complete hoaxes, while others sparked worldwide excitement. So, is the mammoth finally coming back, or is history about to repeat itself? Today, we'll uncover the unbelievable story of mammoth cloning, the truth behind the famous April Fool's prank, Dolly the cloned sheep, Colossal Biosciences' controversial experiments, and whether humanity is truly on the verge of bringing an extinct giant back to life. For decades, scientists have chased one incredible dream, bringing the woolly mammoth back from extinction. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, but this idea has fascinated researchers for generations. Surprisingly, one of the earliest stories appeared in the early 1980s. According to a widely shared article, Soviet and American scientists had supposedly worked together on an ambitious experiment. They claimed to have recovered genetic material from a frozen mammoth found deep beneath the Siberian ice. The DNA was then compared with that of modern elephants, and after several attempts, researchers reportedly created a mammoth-elephant embryo. The story spread like wildfire. Hundreds of newspapers around the world reported that a mammoth hybrid had been created. People were amazed and eager to see this prehistoric creature with their own eyes. But there was one huge problem. The entire story was fake. The article had been published on April 1st, 1984, as an April Fool's joke. Millions of people believed it, only to discover that the world's first mammoth clone never existed. Even though it was a prank, it revealed something important. People were fascinated by the idea of bringing extinct animals back to life. And only a few years later, science would make a breakthrough that changed everything forever. The world got its real breakthrough on July 5, 1996, when a sheep named Dolly was born. At first, almost no one knew she existed. Scientists kept the project completely secret for months before finally revealing it to the public in 1997. Dolly wasn't just another sheep. She became the first mammal successfully cloned from an adult cell. Until then, many scientists believed adult cells had already lost the ability to create an entirely new animal. Dolly proved them wrong. Her birth shocked the scientific world and changed biology forever. Suddenly, a new question appeared. If scientists could clone a sheep, could they one day bring back an extinct animal? Even before Dolly was announced, researchers in Japan were already searching the frozen lands of Siberia for well-preserved woolly mammoth remains. Their first idea was to recover mammoth sperm and combine it with the egg of an Asian elephant, the mammoth's closest living relative. Unfortunately, the plan didn't work, but failure didn't stop them. Year after year, new expeditions searched the Arctic, hoping to find a perfectly preserved mammoth with usable DNA. Each discovery sparked headlines claiming that the return of the woolly mammoth was only a few years away. The dream refused to die as the years passed. One prediction kept coming back again and again. The woolly mammoth will return in just a few years. Newspapers, magazines, and TV reports repeated the same promise. In the early 2000s, some experts predicted mammoths would be walking the earth by 2015 or 2016. Those years came and went, but no mammoth ever appeared. After hearing these promises for decades, many people stopped believing them. To most, mammoth cloning became another scientific dream that would never become reality. Then everything changed. In 2021, a biotechnology company called Colossal Biosciences entered the spotlight with an incredibly bold mission, not just to study extinct animals, but to bring them back. The company announced plans to revive famous extinct species, including the woolly mammoth, the thylacine, Tasmanian tiger, and the dodo. Unlike earlier projects, Colossal had massive funding, advanced gene editing technology, and a team of leading scientists. For the first time, the idea of de-extinction didn't seem like science fiction anymore. But there was one big question. Could they really bring back a true mammoth? Or would it be something completely different? To understand Colossal's plan, we first need to answer one important question. What actually is a woolly mammoth? The answer is surprising. Scientists don't have a complete living mammoth cell that can simply be cloned. Most mammoth remains are thousands of years old, and their DNA has been damaged by time, ice, and bacteria. So instead of cloning a mammoth, Colossal is taking a completely different approach. They start with the DNA of the Asian elephant, the mammoth's closest living relative. Then, using powerful gene editing technology, they replace specific elephant genes with mammoth versions, genes responsible for thick fur, extra body fat, cold resistance, and other ice age adaptations. The goal isn't to create an exact copy of a mammoth. Instead, the company hopes to produce an elephant with many mammoth-like traits, an animal capable of surviving in the freezing Arctic. Supporters call this a revolutionary step toward de-extinction. Critics, however, argue that no matter how many genes are edited, the result will still not be a true woolly mammoth. So the debate continues. Is this really bringing an extinct species back to life, or simply creating a brand new hybrid animal? The debate became even more intense after Colossal revealed another ambitious project. Instead of waiting for a mammoth, the company unveiled genetically modified wolves that they claimed resembled the extinct dire wolf. The announcement spread across the internet, with many people celebrating what looked like the return of a legendary Ice Age predator. But not everyone was convinced. Several independent scientists argued that these animals were not true dire wolves. According to them, the researchers had edited the DNA of modern gray wolves to give them certain ancient traits. The animals might look more like dire wolves, but genetically they were still much closer to gray wolves. That sparked a major question. If changing a few genes doesn't create a true dire wolf, will editing elephant DNA really create a true woolly mammoth? Colossal believes its technology is a huge step toward de-extinction. Many other scientists agree the technology is impressive, but they caution that recreating the appearance of an extinct animal is very different from bringing the original species back. So while the headlines sounded dramatic, the scientific debate was far from over. So, when could the world actually see the first mammoth-like calf? According to Colossal Biosciences, their current goal is late 2028. If everything goes as planned, scientists hope to create a healthy embryo, implant it into an elephant surrogate, and welcome the first mammoth-like calf into the world. But that's much easier said than done. Creating a viable embryo is only the first challenge. The pregnancy would last nearly 22 months, and every stage would need to go perfectly. Even a small complication could cause the entire experiment to fail. And there's another mystery. What if the first successful calf is born, but the public doesn't find out immediately? That has happened before. Dolly the sheep was kept secret for months before scientists announced her existence. If history repeats itself, the world's first mammoth-like calf could already exist for weeks, or even months, before anyone outside the project knows. If the experiment succeeds, it would become one of the greatest scientific achievements of the 21st century. But one newborn calf is only the beginning. The real challenge starts after that. So, when could the world actually see the first mammoth-like calf? According to Colossal Biosciences, their current goal is late 2028. If everything goes as planned, scientists hope to create a healthy embryo, implant it into an elephant surrogate, and welcome the first mammoth-like calf into the world. But that's much easier said than done. Creating a viable embryo is only the first challenge. The pregnancy would last nearly 22 months, and every stage would need to go perfectly. Even a small complication could cause the entire experiment to fail. And there's another mystery. What if the first successful calf is born, but the public doesn't find out immediately? That has happened before. Dolly the sheep was kept secret for months before scientists announced her existence. If history repeats itself, the world's first mammoth-like calf could already exist for weeks, or even months, before anyone outside the project knows. If the experiment succeeds, it would become one of the greatest scientific achievements of the 21st century. But one newborn calf is only the beginning. The real challenge starts after that. Even if the first mammoth-like calf is born successfully, the mission won't be over. Colossal's long-term vision is far more ambitious than creating a single animal. The company hopes to build entire herds of mammoth-like elephants and eventually release them into the Arctic tundra. Their idea is that these animals could help restore ancient grasslands by knocking down trees, compacting snow, and protecting the frozen ground beneath. Some scientists believe this could slow the melting of permafrost and reduce the release of greenhouse gases. It sounds like an incredible plan, but many experts remain skeptical. Creating a few animals is one thing. Building a healthy, self-sustaining population of thousands is something entirely different. Scientists still don't know whether these hybrids would reproduce successfully, survive harsh Arctic conditions, or truly restore the ecosystem as hoped. That leaves one final question. Are we witnessing the future of conservation, or one of the boldest scientific experiments ever attempted?